you guys want me out of here. But,
No more questions.
no more questions. I found no more questions. So, who's excited about supporting Ted Cruz tomorrow? Who's going to stand up for our Constitution? Who's going to go tell your favorite Trump-supporting neighbor to go vote for Ted Cruz? And who would like Donald Trump to go back to The Apprentice?
Never Trump! Never!
No chanting. No chanting.
Dump the Trump!
This is the longest 30 seconds. This is like Senate time here. So look, Ted Cruz is a good man, a person whenever I need anything, he's someone I can call up and ask for help. And he stood with us shoulder to shoulder, fighting the battles in the Senate. And we need someone who's going to fight those battles for us. We don't want someone who's going to talk about the Constitution, but then get to Congress or get to the White House and not do anything to defend it. We need someone who will fight for us. And that person is Ted Cruz. It is my honor to welcome the next President of the United States, Ted Cruz.
That we were stuck on a runway for 2 hours with plane troubles. I'm sorry you guys had to wait, but this is an amazing, let me say for the news media, this is effectively a rally in the middle of the night. How's that for the passion of the men and women of Michigan? And let me point out also to all the kids here, there's a lesson, which is politics can be a really good excuse to keep you up past your bedtime. Let me say I'm so proud of the incredible team we have here in Michigan. So proud of the leadership that Patrick Colbeck has given to our team here on the ground, organizing United Conservatives across the state. I'm so grateful for the friendship and leadership of Justin Amash. And look, I got to tell you, y'all are particularly grateful because I'm told that Justin had run out of material. And next he was going to be doing some a cappella singing while Patrick did interpretive dance. So I'm glad to have stepped in and saved you just in time. Something incredible is happening in this country. We all see the dangers, we all see the threats. We see the piling debts, we see the threats to the Bill of Rights. And yet all of that is producing an equal and even greater reaction. The people of this nation are waking up. Have you noticed that state after state after state, turnout in the Republican primaries is skyrocketing? And state after state after state, turnout in Democratic primaries is plummeting. I think they've resorted to just going out in the street trying to scare people in. Come on, somebody vote in our primary. I mean, what happens if you hold a primary and no one votes?
You can hardly see him through here.
I can't see him.
That's true. For those who couldn't hear, her response was they go to the cemetery.
No, I don't see him. I'm too short. Yeah, I'm too short.
This election, I believe,
Okay.
will come down to three key issues.
It's okay. I'll sit.
Jobs,
Sit down one day.
freedom, and security. Let's start with jobs. Let me talk for a minute to all the single moms who are working 2 or 3 part-time jobs. You've had your hours forcibly reduced to 28, 29 hours a week because Obamacare kicks in for 30 hours. Let me talk to all the truck drivers, the plumbers and the electricians, the men and women in this room with calluses on your hands. You've seen your wages stagnating year after year after year. Cost of living keeps going up, but your wages somehow don't seem to keep pace with it. Let me talk to all the young people. Coming out of school right now with student loans up to your eyeballs. Scared. What kind of future am I going to have? Am I going to get a job? Am I going to be able to provide for my family? Now the media tries to tell us this is as good as it gets. There is nothing better. Let me tell you right now, that is a lie. Now it's easy to talk about making America great again. You can even print that on a baseball cap. But the critical question is, do you understand the principles and values that made America great in the first place? The heart of the economy isn't Washington, D.C. And it isn't New York City. The heart of our economy is small businesses all over this country. If you want to crush the economy, do what we've been doing the last 7 years, hammer small businesses each and every day. And if you want to unleash jobs, then take the boot of the federal government off the back of the necks of small business. If I'm elected president, we will repeal every word of Obamacare. We'll pass common sense health care reform that makes health insurance personal and portable and affordable and keeps government from getting in between us and our doctors. And we will pass a simple flat tax. Where every American can fill out our taxes on a postcard. And when we do that, we should abolish the IRS. We're going to rein in the regulators, the EPA, and the alphabet soup of regulators killing small businesses and jobs all over this country. Let's talk a minute about immigration. You know, there is no issue that better captures the divide between the corrupt deal-making of Washington and the American people. Immigration is a law enforcement matter, it's a national security matter, but immigration is also at its heart an economic matter. When you allow 12 million people to come to this country illegally, it takes away millions of jobs from American citizens, from legal immigrants, and it drives down the wages of everyone. Now, immigration talk is cheap. You want to know where someone really stands on immigration, you need look no further than where they stood in 2013 during the battle of the Gang of Eight amnesty. Now, in 2013, far too many establishment Republicans chose to stand with Barack Obama and Harry Reid and Chuck Schumer and push for a massive amnesty. When that happened, I made a very different decision. I made the decision to honor the commitments I made to the men and women who elected me and to lead the fight against amnesty, and we defeated it. And during that fight, where was Donald Trump? He was on TV. But even worse, he was funding the Gang of Eight. Of the 8 members of the Gang of Eight, Donald Trump wrote checks to 5 of them over $50,000. Now, you don't get to fund the advocates for amnesty. You don't get to fund open border Democrats for 40 years and then suddenly wake up when you're a candidate for president and discover you want to secure the borders. And even worse than that, at the debate here in Michigan, in Detroit, Donald promised the people of this country he would be flexible. You hear how many times he said the word flexible? Now everyone here understands when DC politicians use the word flexible, that's code word for they're about to stick it to you. Because somehow flexibility always involves cutting a deal to favor Wall Street, to favor the big corporate interest, and to leave the working men and women on the street. Enough of the Washington We're going to repeal Obamacare, pass a flat tax, abolish the IRS, rein in the regulators, stop amnesty, secure the borders, and the result is going to be millions of high-paying jobs. Wages going up for everyone. Young people coming out of school with $2.45. It'll be boarding in America. The second key to this election is freedom. You know, a couple of weeks ago, Justice Scalia's passing underscored for all of us the stakes of this election. It is not one branch, but two that hang in the balance. We are one liberal justice away from a radical 5-justice majority, the likes of which this country's never seen. We are one liberal justice away from the Supreme Court taking away the religious liberty of every person in this room. We are one liberal justice away from the Supreme Court effectively erasing the Second Amendment from the Bill of Rights. We are one liberal justice away from the Supreme Court making all of us subject to the authority of the World Court and the United Nations and international law and giving up U.S. sovereignty. Now, 2 debates ago, we were all asked a question
Thank you.
about Supreme Court nominations and religious liberty. And Donald Trump, you may recall, turned to me and he said, "Ted, I've known a lot more politicians than you have." And that he's right. He's been supporting liberal Democratic politicians for 40 years. But he went on to say, "Ted, on the Supreme Court, on religious liberty, you've got to be willing to compromise. You've got to be willing to cut a deal and work with the Democrats and find a middle ground." Let me be very, very clear to the men and women of Michigan. I will not compromise away your religious liberty. Compromise away your Second Amendment right to keep it. Donald Trump says he wants to work out a compromise with Harry Reid and Chuck Schumer on Antonin Scalia's replacement. Well, any justice they agree to is going to be a left-wing activist who will take away your rights. Now, I'll tell you, Michigan is blessed in many respects, but blessed also with one of the fiercest defenders of the Bill of Rights in the entire United States. Solemn commitment that every justice I appoint to the court will be a principled constitutionalist, faithful to the law, who will ferociously defend the Bill of Rights for your children. The third critical issue in this election is security. For 7 years, we've seen a president who stands with our enemies and abandons our friends. We've seen a president who abandons our allies, who will not stand with them, and shows weakness and appeasement to those who hate us. Donald Trump said 2 debates ago that he would be neutral between Israel and the Palestinians.
Never draw.
Let me be very, very clear with you. If I am elected president, I have no intention of being neutral. America will stand unapologetically with the nation of Israel. One of the saddest things we've seen over the last 7 years has been the weakening of our military, has been readiness degraded, has been morale